I think it was like what last podcast. I can't remember who it was. Someone was talking. I just hear in the background going like.
I think Rap was doing like thieving or something.
Why are you blaming me? I'm innocent.
It's always him. Rap is always a big issue. But I don't like. That's probably why we're not getting enough like viewers on this thing, Rap. I don't know, you're out.
I'm
replacing you with
Bye.
Ken.
Replaced
Such a shame. You
with
lasted
Moto.
2.5 episodes. Welcome. Oh, perfect. Well, guys, it's a new podcast. It's during the double XP weekend, so we're literally wasting our time here. So if you're one of those people listening in right now, welcome. I hope you do appreciate this XP waste of time that we do for you. We have a guest today, ITrolledU. Ken, do you want to introduce yourself? Say something about you.
Hey, I'm ITrolledU. I stream on Twitch. I was the 14th person to 5.2 billion XP, which was max XP back then. I was the 5th person to 5.4. I have an Iron Man that's like pretty far up there. I don't know what rank it is, but I don't really do skilling on it. And I recently started a hardcore Iron Man, and you know, I'm just like a all-around player, I guess. PVM, skilling, anything. I don't know. I love RuneScape, so.
And you're also a content creator. You're streaming. You're also nominated for a Golden Gnome this year, which is pretty awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Also, congrats to you, Maikeru. You also got nominated in 2 awards, which is also pretty awesome, to be honest. That's a big... well, how many were you nominated for last year?
Just the one last year, because I wasn't streaming last year, right?
Right, so you're nominated for double gnomes this year. That's pretty wild, actually.
I never once expected to like be nominated for 2, like, because I think it's only me, you, and Dark World Order that have like 2 double nominations, which is pretty cool to have it in different categories, right? Yeah, you have 2 chances of winning.
Insane.
Double tickets in the poll. That's a lot of fun. So today we're gonna be talking a little bit about like efficiency and what's the word I'm looking for?
Elitism.
That's the one. What's the big difference there, to be fair? Because I'm a bit like, this is one of those topics that I'm not that like what's it called, focused around. So elitism, what do you guys define as elitism?
Good question. I think everyone has a separate definition, but for me, elitism is just, I mean, in the context of gaming, it's very different to like in real life, right? So let's make that like comparison very clear. So like in the context of gaming, I would just imagine elitism is like some kid who's like relatively good at the game and like derives his ego and self-worth from how good they are at playing a computer game. And if someone is not as good as them, they like to like flex. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's a very casual definition.
Word flex, but okay.
But yeah, that's what I view it as. But I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say on that.
I'm kind of interested about like Ken's opinion on that, considering he's top 5 in the RuneScape game right now, which is kind of weird, to be honest. This game is over 200 million accounts, and you're like the 5th place. Is that it?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of messed up?
Dude, that's awesome. When you put it like that, it really is cool.
I spent a lot of time on this game, but yeah.
So, do you ever like stumble on like rank 4 in the high score and feel like you're a noob?
That's Omid. He also streams and stuff.
I'm a pro compared to Omid.
That's why you're here. Not kidding. Okay, but how is that for you though?
Elitism. It's an interesting topic. Like, to me, elitism is like just being good at the game and like perhaps wanting other people to be better at the game. I think the problem though, like that personally I have, I don't think elitism inherently is a problem. It's only a problem when you want other people to be good, but not in like a good way. Like you're gonna like harass them. Like say you're doing like a boss with someone, and you like invite them to the team, and then you're like, hey, you messed up, like, and then you just start flaming them if they like really mess up and they're trying to learn or whatever. But like,
but a lot, I've never really experienced that in my.
I mean, that's in terms of like PVM. Yeah, that's like a big reason why. There's like Raid FC and all those FCs for learning. They have a bad rep.
On Mainscape, I would say more so than on Iron Man. I don't know. This is a completely different topic. I just feel like Iron Man are a bit more forgiving, but like on Mainscape, I remember like when raids like first came out, like maybe like a few months after, trying to get a team was hell because like everyone was like, okay, 60 plus KC requirement, QC your KC, otherwise you're not getting in. And if you manage to get into a team and you made one mistake, everyone would turn on you, and it wasn't your fault because you were a noob.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard to like it's kind of like a conundrum because to get better you need experience, but to get on teams you need experience as well. So like you're kind of in a catch-62 situation.
Yeah,
So I suppose it's all related to elitism. Yeah, but
I feel like it happens on every game, right? Because World of Warcraft's the same. They're like, link your achievement for this like boss or whatever, so you can show that you've done it. But then you can't do it if you don't get taken. The Raid FC is a good example, I guess. I done 1,100 Yakka kills with Raid FC, and my success rate was like 95+%. Even taking learners, because we had a good team and we had people that were understanding and would talk someone through on Discord and stuff. A lot of the time, people try and do the boss without even looking at a guide, and then they get flamed, and then they go tell everyone else, hey, look, this FC is not nice or something, because they go in there in Death Lotus and like Glaives, and then they're like, why can't I kill Yakamaru?
Like, why are you flaming me?
No, but that's the whole thing. Like, elitism obviously can be bad, but it gets flamed and gets called elitism when it isn't actually elitism. It's just people set requirements for a reason, and if someone doesn't have those requirements, they call others elitist for setting them. Sometimes, obviously, there is elitism where people look down on other people, which is bad. But in a lot of the cases, it's people just not understanding that the requirements are there for a reason.
Yeah, because like otherwise you're being a leech, not because of your skill level. It's just because everyone else on the team has met that standard. They've worked hard to get, supreme overloads. They've worked hard to get like perked up armor. And if you're there with like unperked armor and like not prepared in terms of what gear requirements and skill requirements you have, you are being a leech. I don't think that's elitism personally. Yeah. I think that's just setting the standard. I think elitism comes in when you're like when people meet the standard and people don't realize what it's like to learn. Like they don't remember that period in their mind. And like, say for example, you're in a team and you take a learner and the learner doesn't do very well, but because they're learning, you don't like kind of give them that grace period that you had yourself. And like elitism is like demanding a standard straight away. And there's many psychological reasons for why people do that. And like the June song made a really good video about it. Like some of it's like narcissism, sorry. Like other people is just like their ego needs to be stroked to feel good about themselves. But yeah, there's different ways of you looking at it.
It's a bit of a weird shame though, isn't it? Going online to get like your ego stroked in a video game. Like fair enough that people work hard for these things, but I don't know, like it's not a very good like perspective in order to get players for this game at all.
Definitely
it's not healthy at all.
I think MMOs are kind of like that though. Like to be honest, like most MMOs achievements are like what you want to show off. Like we have capes for a reason. We have like all these things that show off all of our accomplishments, and that's like a big part of MMOs is just showing off what you've done. I mean that's not elitism or whatever, but just also like
pointing it out could be some sort of elitism or restricting other people.
Yeah. Like going back to the last point, like I think that requiring like certain things is kind of funny because I think some people think like it's elitist if someone like has a team and they're like, hey, we require like T92 weapons or whatever, and like I don't really agree with that being elitist because like you just want people that are similar geared to you, But
exactly that, and you're willing to wait to find those people as well, right? So
yeah,
you're putting in time to find people who are a level that you expect, right? I think it would be elitist to say like, okay, these are the recs, and if you're in the team, great. But if you make a mistake, then we're all gonna flex on you. That's elitist.
Yeah,
I completely agree that like having recs is fair game for everything. Because otherwise, you are leeching. You're doing less input than what you should be doing.
But that's one of those things, right? Because people don't see it that way if they're not ever in our position, because we've been in those groups where we've had those requirements and stuff. The people who are trying to aspire to go do PVM and they're trying to rush it, then they're the ones that are going to think the requirements are elitist because how am I going to get those requirements if I'm not allowed to do those bosses? But you can literally just go to the Vindicta to get a tier 9, you know, you make money very quick. But people don't think like that. They think, I want to go do the best boss possible, and I want to use this gear. Why can I not use this gear? It's so elitist, blah, blah, blah.
I completely understand where they're coming from, and like as a noob, I can like empathize with them. Like when I was a noob, I could like felt that way as well. But at the same time, like if you look at like skilling, it's like for us, like for example, like I'm level 50 crafting, and I want to make black dragon hide. I can't make it until I'm like level 85 crafting. And that's the threshold which is set there. So like people should be able to understand that as well. Like you can't expect to be like a level 60 taken to a Virago kill. Like, it's not fair on the others. Like there has to be, you have to put in the work to get there, and that's what like makes like people aspiring to be better. That's like a really key point in MMOs, I think.
But okay, allow me to be a little bit stupid here. So I'm a combat 3 skiller, right? So I don't really know this much about like the PVM community in that sense. But this only happens in like friend chats and clans, right?
Mostly, well, not necessarily. It could just happen with a group of people that you've met who've invited someone else. It happens in very different forms.
I mean, like, they want to just like skill with like friends or whatever. Why do you have to like go with this random group of people who's gonna harass you for trying?
Well, like a lot of skilling elitism is just like not achieving the highest XP rates and like, you know, flaming people just because they don't get high XP rates and stuff like that, which also isn't good.
Sure,
but
yeah.
you know, still in the skilling community, just not as pronounced these days. Like I don't know. I guess I haven't been a skiller for a while, like in terms of just climbing the high scores, but it used to be pretty bad. Yeah.
It's still pretty bad. It's more, I think, the way that people go about it, not what they're trying to do. People normally have the right idea where they're like, oh, you should bring this item, or you should, you know, definitely look into unlocking this. Instead of saying something like that, you know, this is going to help. You know, urns are really useful. Is people are like, you don't even have urns. What the hell are you doing? And it's completely wrong, right? Yeah, they just, instead of just being like, take this and it will help you, like we do when we are helping people or someone asks us a question on stream or something, right? They'll just instantly get flamed for not using this, and it's like, come on, man, just help them instead of flaming them.
I completely get that. Yeah, like it's actually quite daunting to be like, ask a question which you feel like you may be like judged upon for like asking, and like I think maybe this can be kind of contributed, like this could be like kind of transferred to like Twitch streaming as well, like Maikeru said. Like for example, if I go into Maikeru's stream and I'm a beginner, I know personally that Maikeru is very welcoming and he like explain everything if they have a question about it. But like I feel like streamers have a responsibility to do that. And just not like, you know, fuel the chat on, but like, haha, you don't know what this is. Why are you playing this game and sort of stuff? You know, that happens as well. That is elitism in my eyes. Like not helping someone who is asking for help and just laughing at them. Like that's bad, and that does happen.
That's a shame, to be honest, because we do need new people to come into this game. And I was thinking about this the other day. I wonder if it was after the last podcast, possibly. Whereas if you create a new account, you don't really know what the new items are. If you're a new player, that is, you don't really know what items are the best items or what boss is the best boss and those things. You kind of are relying on people to tell you these things, and that's not really helping with the with that kind of attitude.
It's a key part of the game, right? Like the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
And like when new players come in, because we've played this game for so many years, like I think, you know, I've personally played it for 10 years plus. I presume you guys are very similar in the amount of time that you've played, like, you know, since 2007 or whatever. And like, you know, since that time, we take so much knowledge for granted. And then like a newbie comes in and they're like overwhelmed by this massive environment. So they might be asking a question which you think is stupid, but it's not stupid to them because they haven't had the same experience which you have.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, when did you guys start playing?
2003.
Oh, wow.
2006, I think.
I think mine was 2004, but the account that I've got 5.4 on, like my main, I think I made that in 2005 or 2006.
All right, that's fair enough. Yeah, I started in 04, so but this account that I play on now is a lot older. Well, younger, I guess. It was made more recent. Fair enough. So the social skilling aspect is actually kind of interesting when we're getting onto that one. I remember like when Ivy was released in 2009. That was like the first like step of the social skilling era that we're currently in. Because prior to that, and quite a while after as well, but it was more the first step where Jagex would step away from the the tick system, where like power mining, for instance, would be the best XP and things like that. And that update that was introduced with the Ivy would mean the fastest wood killing XP was an AFK method. A lot of things have been added after that. A good example is the granite mining thing that was more like nerfed, to be honest, because there was at some point after Living Rock Caverns was released that the fastest XP was mining gold, but someone found out that if you power mine granite, that would still be faster than the Living Rock Caverns. So Jagex literally went in to remove a rock from the granite source that made that fastest, which nerfed that and made the AFK method more worth it. I think that was quite a big era change in RuneScape, which is kind of being related to what it is nowadays in terms of the efficiency aspect of this. What are your thoughts on that?
So like social skilling, is that what you're talking about, Will? Like
Social skilling, yeah.
Because like before you would need to compete for resources, and like now you don't need to compete for resources. So
Really
like
don't.
they're encouraging you to be together and skill at the same place. Like that's what like Portables does. It encourages everyone to be in the same place.
Yeah.
Mining and smithing, like they changed it so you don't need to compete for rocks. So you stay together and talk about stuff and like learn from each other, I suppose.
But is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm kind of like, I think it's a good thing personally, but I can see all the negative aspects to it because it did remove quite a bit of what used to make RuneScape in terms of the competition side of things.
Yeah, I see both sides of the view. Like old school still very similar in that way. Like it's very competitive to get resources and best XP rates. You need to hop a lot, and that
That's
is
true.
part of the game's culture, right? And RS3's moved a different way. I don't think one is right and one is wrong. I think they both have their benefits, personally.
The hopping thing still happens with PVM though, doesn't it? In terms of like Slayer and whatever.
Yeah. But like, I think what Rav meant was like hopping to refresh the resources and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, and now in RS3 we have instances and stuff like that. Whereas, back in the day, if your boss was being killed by someone, you would need to either out DPS them, crash them, or find a new world. Like that's not there in RS3 as much anymore.
I got crashed by SparkMac once when I was doing bandos back in like 2009 or something.
Oh, really?
I was
Oh no.
Jesus.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to make it have an option of AFK versus active, but I feel like they need to make the active stuff a bit more engaging like it used to be. If you take a look on old school, their fishing is, you can tick manipulate fishing by going to grind a herb and canceling the animation or whatever. I think that's what it is. And you cancel the animation and you get back and you get a fish like instantly. And then
That's
you'll
weird.
go and grind the herb again because it'll do the animation. Then you'll throw your fish, you'll get it. So they constantly do this. And ours is like Hall of Memories, you spam click the same spot.
But
Like,
that's not intended though, Maikeru. Like tick manipulation on old school was not intended to be the way it is.
I understand that.
That's fair.
But they like it because it's more effort, so they don't mind rewarding the higher effort. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
I totally agree with it wasn't intended. That's one of the reasons why they took away One Tick Hunter and then added it with the cape. But One Tick Hunter,
I don't like that.
I don't like that they've added it with the cape because the requirement is so high, right?
Yeah.
I like that they've, given the one tick a thing.
An option.
People stop at 99, right? So they don't actually train further. But the whole thing that I was getting at with that was more, that's a fun way to train a skill because that is a tick manipulation. That's an enjoyable tick manipulation. And you can actually do it right or wrong. When it comes to hunter tick manipulation, if you do it too quickly, you don't place it down in one tick. If you do it too slow, you don't place it down in one tick. You have to do it right. Hall of Memories is actually just clicking the same spot every 2 ticks. That's a boring tick manipulation. And I want more like the hunter or like the fishing or like those ones because it's more engaging than just clicking the same spot. You actually have to do other things.
Like 4-tick mining on RS3 as well. I found that very dumb.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
The concept of it is really, really good though, especially with the mining thing where you have like AFK passive and active training. Though, yeah, it's not very interactive per se. I do think it's a good idea.
The concept is great. It's just like making it more fun. You know what I mean? Like as opposed to just like click, 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 click. Maybe have like some sort of interactive event that like happens.
I think that like the difference between active and AFK gameplay right now is not big enough. I think like the active gameplay is not as rewarding as it should be. Like for example, like no one does fishing frenzy or whatever it's called in the deep sea fishing area, because like the XP rates compared to just like AFKing the best method is like not very different, and it's like way more difficult to upkeep your frenzy stacks and all that.
The frenzy thing should be a lot higher requirement. Potentially, whatever is the AFK method should be somewhat nerfed. And like they nerfed Hunter not too long ago, and a lot of people hate on that. And I honestly think that is a good update, because it is Jagex realizing they made a mistake of sorts, and they're trying to kind of save the game in the long run by going back on that a little bit. And I don't think that is a bad option for, let's say, for instance, fishing.
The thing is with Hunter, like it was so ingrained to the skill for such a long period of time that to like go back on that is like changing how, like changing the meta for skilling for Hunter. It's a big thing, and they've done that for player-owned farms now. And I'm so upset they've done it so late, because I've been saying for the longest time that player-owned farms is the most broken piece of content there is in game.
It is.
And now like the meta was player-owned farms, and now they've just gone and changed. I don't know why they didn't do it sooner. Like they have to wait until it's so ingrained in everyone, and then everyone gets upset because they're changing the meta. Unlike, a couple of weeks after release, they realized it was OP. They could have done something then, but
I completely agree. They need to get on it as quick as possible and not wait so long. Like I get the Hunter nerf was good. Like the Hunter XP was too high, but the reason why the Hunter XP was too high was there was a 1.4 mil an hour doing ornate turtles with 1 tick. Then on top of that, they released urns, took it to like 1.7. Then they released a new outfit, and it took it to like close to 2 mil. It's like they didn't need to release these things. They could see the power creep was becoming a thing, so why not just not do that? Like they didn't need the elite skin and outfit. They just done it because microtransactions at the end of the day, which is fair enough, but they should have nerfed it before even releasing that outfit, and then the outfit could have been better ingrained in the skill. And like it's just a complete mess, because if you use no boost, I showcased it in one of my most recent videos. If you use no boost at all at something like Turtles, you get 300k experience an hour. But if you use every boost, you're getting like 600k. So it nearly doubles your XP, but getting all of those boosts is so much effort.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, Hunter can still be 600k, 750 if you 1 tick, but 1 tick's at 99, remember, and you need all the outfit, you need everything. Yeah,
is that the method you found recently?
One of the other methods is now charming moths in the wilderness. It's OP.
But
really? That's semi-AFK as well, which is kind of stupid, right?
But how much XP are we talking?
I think there's like 900k if you do it correctly.
Okay.
Oh my god.
That's the thing, though, right? They have all of these boosts that take so long to get just to get the top tier rates, and if someone wants to get 99, they're going to have to suffer with low XP rates because they're not going to have the elite outfit.
All the boots.
They're not going to have all of these different things. So yes, it can still be fast, but the nerf is too severe because there's too many boosts, in my opinion.
You're saying that they could see that it's gone so high, they did nothing about it, and instead of like not introducing the slow power creep, which is very evident, they decided to change the whole skill. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know who's behind that decision making, but I think they're in mixed minds. I don't think they realize they don't have a set like idea like this is good, this is bad. I think they keep changing their minds. And that's what's confusing the player base.
I think it's kind of like, I'm not going to point fingers since I have literally no idea what I'm talking about here, but I am going to suggest that it might be down to the people who do game balancing. And obviously Jagex do have their own kind of group of people who is supposed to be doing that. But it could literally just be down to different people doing that job at different times. Because obviously I don't think developers are thinking, oh, this is going to be overpowering. I think they just make the content and send it off to whoever's supposed to give it like the XP rates.
It really hurts you though, because like if they already knew that ornate tools and stuff were like 1.4 and they release urns that are 25% more XP base with urn enhancer, and they don't think that's going to be OP, like there's something wrong, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone is going to disagree it's OP. Like, a lot of these OP things are quite high level. Like you would be past 99 by the time you get used to it, or by the time you're actually good or proficient at using very high XP rates. And on the very kind of a broad, bold statement, I guess. But after you're 99, high XP rates doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, I agree.
I
But
think
If it was 900k from level 50, that'd be different. But it's not. It's very slow
Yeah.
from level 50.
the main issue I have with like all these like this hunter nerf and like the POF nerf is like I wish they would just like nerf XP rates. Like I agree that hunter was insane like XP, but like just cut the basic speed. Don't change the methods or anything like that. Or like
Exactly that.
and
like,
and
you know,
POF
and
too.
not only make it easier for everyone, it saves them dev time as well, right?
Yeah.
You know, like it literally makes perfect sense what Ken said. Just half the rate of player and farms. Everyone knows the meta. Everyone agrees it's OP. Instead of wasting someone's like 1 month dev time to change the come up with
the feeding
complicated
rate and
formula.
everything. It's like I don't know. The breeding
I
rate.
agree.
They just nerf everything. It's like I don't know. Like just cut the XP rate.
Yeah.
was there anything overpowered that came to breeding and stuff? Like it still took ages to get your logs done, and it's not like there was a billion animals coming into the game that weren't getting used because people would use them for XP. Like, does it really need
I don't know.
enough for the breeding rate?
I have no
The
idea.
breeding rate really don't. Like it's literally just XP. I can kind of see beans being a slight problem. More thinking about the I don't know if you guys saw this on Reddit very recently. This guy got 13 million farming XP today, purely from the magic beans you can buy with the farmers market.
So beans also they equivalent to XP as well. So maybe that's what they're thinking, but it's not that much. Like beans are in no way like an absurd amount of extra farming XP.
Yeah, it's not like OP by any means necessarily. I did check my my rates current. I have 225k beans, and that would equal to a little bit over 1 million farming XP, assuming I did elder trees.
But that took you a long time to stack up. You know?
It did, so I'm not entirely sure if that would matter that much per se, but it's still something that I would kind of think about, I guess, because there's nothing really anything else that the beans can be used for right now.
Like
they can be used for GP, but
GP, like not much. It's not like an absurd like money making meta. It's just a good money making method.
Yeah, I would rather just use it for the magic beans and get farming XP, to be honest. But that's at least my opinion. Another like big dark spot in the skilling thing is the safe cracking with thieving. What was that update? I'm sorry, but that was just OP, annoying, and 100% AFK.
It's interesting.
I know Ken and Maikeru have done that update, but I haven't actually touched that update myself. So I know it's OP, but it'd be good to hear what they have to think about it.
I don't really like how it kind of just like took over the whole skill. Like literally, once you hit 62, you go to 99 on safes if you want to go like fastest experience. Actually, I think dwarf traders might be slightly faster, but they're like really active. But
they're a tiny bit more XP, and you need like 5-finger discount.
Oh yeah, you need your auras and everything.
Yeah, compared to seeing a goddamn save.
Yeah, I think it's a. I want to say it's a good update, but I don't know. Like
it's a very original update in terms of what actual thieving is.
I kind of like it, but I just wish it wasn't as strong.
I like it. I like it.
I wish it didn't make everything else irrelevant, basically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like it thematically from what you guys are saying. Like it's like safe cracking is a unique way, like player owned farms, but I really don't like it when one update comes and like completely replaces everything from like level 50 to like level 9. That's what player owned farms did as well, right? It completely changed the meta for the whole skill.
Because that issue, and like if you go to like for instance with safe cracking, if you get to level 50 and you unlock the best skilling method and you can't do anything past level 50 that would be slower, that's a big issue. That's something messed up. They should really just
right, like like maybe introduce safe cracking from 50 to 70, make it best XP there, and then after that have something different. It's like you're exploring the game, you're exploring different aspects of the skill, as opposed to like player and farms where you sit in the same farm, click 15 clicks a day, get 2 million XP a week, and like completely devalue farming from one of them.
It's like just make the new updates good. But make old methods that
just
were
make it good.
All right, okay, yeah. I probably worded that bad, but yeah, like you make the update good XP, but don't make it the best XP at every possible level. Dwarf traders are so active, and they have a lot of requirements. They have like RD cape,
Yeah.
Five-finger discount aura, and everything like that to be efficient. And I feel like they are a very, very good method, and that's how I got a lot of my thieving XP, because I got it before safe cracking. But now when something is easier, way more relaxing, and doesn't give you carpal tunnel, that has the same XP rates, like
and doesn't require you to learn a new technique or method.
just make it 25% worse XP. And if someone really wants to lean forward and be efficient, or have that mindset of best, make that the really active method be 25% better than safe cracking.
I was told that thieving brawlers are now like 13 mil XP per brawler or something because of safe cracking, because you could just do them in the wilderness, deep woody. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you toggle them on only for the
last
larger
tick.
XP drops.
Yeah.
I feel like they could make safe cracking more interesting if they kind of did it like they did with the Big Game Hunter, that you actually crack a safe using the little rolling thing and trying to like unlock it, and actually add some decent rewards, but not as good XP.
That'd be so awesome. Be like so actually cracking a save in a bank with like lasers and stuff.
I honestly thought that would be the actual skill, but they're like, oh no, they're just clicking on it and wait around for a bit.
And you can compete with people as well.
Camera or CCTV camera, like looking, and like you have to like dodge the camera here and there. So that could have been so good.
CCTV camera. I think like a more thematic thing would be like a crystal ball, like a magical person. Like
no camera.
A camera,
or just like a banker guard running around.
Yeah, that would work.
A banker guard, like Sorcerer's Garden, just with guards, in a bank vault. That would be epic.
What? That's the ultimate piece of dead content.
That was actually so much fun back in the day. I used to get, I remember I did that a while ago, and I saved up a ton of squirk juices and got like a ton of thieving XP within like an hour. That was a lot of fun. I did actually mind that. Well, I was going to say something really useful, then I forgot about it.
Oops.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. Someone say something useful while I think for a second.
Something useful.
So I suppose as Ken's our guest, and the topic is efficiency. Ken, like, what do you think of efficiency nowadays? Like, do you think that you're forced to do one meta too much throughout different skills? Do you think like it's good the way it is, and how would you change it?
These days, I don't know, like, I guess it depends on the skill, Like we were saying, like, thieving being 62 to 99, like, strictly safes is, I think it's kind of bad, but, there's, like, a lot of it comes down to dailies also, like, for example, for divination, you have cash, and that's the only thing you do, and, I mean, they've tried, addressing it, like, they wanted to change it, but they got bad community feedback, and, like, they decided to not go through with it, which, I don't know. I actually did a Hall of Memories recently from 89 to 95, and it wasn't that bad. So honestly, I wouldn't minded cash nerf, and people are gonna hate me for saying that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's been a while though, right? Like, cash has been around for ages. Warbands is so OP.
Oh god, yeah. I guess I've been an Iron Man for a long time, so I don't really. I forget about these things like warbands. But
it was kind of fun because warbands used to get a lot of hate as well, purely because of the high XP rates, and nowadays it's not really that high.
Yeah, 360k a day, I think.
Yeah,
it's still really good for the lower levels of like mining and stuff because those skills are slow as hell.
That's true.
So we've talked about like the XP side of things in terms of efficiency, but what do you guys think of like efficiency in terms of XP versus GP making? Do you think that's at a good place for skilling right now, or do you think it can be?
I remember what I was going to say now. Can I say that really quickly before we take that? I was just going to say that it was in terms of like the variated content and things like that. I feel like old school does a really well with agility, and mining update for Runescape 3 does it really well. But every time you hit like a specific level, like every 10th level or something like that, you switch content and do something completely different in a different location. And I think that is really valuable because it makes the skill more interesting, where it feels rewarding rather than that when you're stuck at level 50 or in the same place for the rest of your life. But when mining updated that, where every 10th level now you go to a new location with a new ore and something more interesting with different experience. A lot better, in my opinion.
Same with smithing, right? Because smithing now has up to tier 90 or tier 85 or whatever, right? So it has from level 1 to 90 every 10 intervals you do new ore. before it was like, oh, I'd make Rune at level 80 till 99 or whatever. And then before that was Addy from like 60 to 80 or whatever. So it's really definitely made it much better. And they need to do more stuff like that. Not one thing making it best. Have some type of progression.
Variety and progression. That's the two key things which I think we all agree on. That's really important.
How is the new agility course in Anachronia in terms of that?
Very good.
Do you have to like you go there at level 30 and stay there for the rest of your life, or do you actually?
I don't know the experience. I know they nerfed it recently, but one thing about that course that really upsets me is like Silverhawk boots. It's so upsetting. Like Silverhawk boots just ruin the agility skill, and like that update can't really shine. It's only really good for Iron Men because they don't have access to Silverhawk boots, but Mainscapers, most of them are just going to buy Silverhawk boots, and it really makes me sad because that's a really awesome agility course, in my opinion.
I'm not sure. I have a lot of people in my clan who have done a lot of agility. I had one friend in my clan that went from 90 to 99, and he made like 7 codexes or something, and he absolutely loved it because that funded all of his PVM gear, and he got 99 agility, you know, and had an enjoying course to do.
That's good.
I mean, if the GP like sticks, but I don't know. I don't know if the GP per hour will stick. It's pretty stable right now. I don't really know because
I think it's 40 to 50 or so right now, and if it sticks to that, that's a lot of GP an hour, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like a good alternative to Silverhawks at least. But I'm talking about like in terms of like pure efficiency, like people are just gonna use Silverhawks.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Efficiency versus fun versus GP. So like the thing is like, do you think I'm a bit sympathetic with the developers in terms of making, you know, money-making methods in relation to skilling, because it's just natural that over time that they will become like not worth doing. Skilling is, you know, AFK, easy, like not much requirements other than that skill. And like if there's loads of people doing it, then the price will obviously go down unless you introduce a load of alkaballs into the game.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about my earlier question? Like, how should they balance skilling money-making methods? And do you think it's at a good place right now?
It's definitely on the right step. Like, I haven't seen this discussed as much this year, but I honestly feel like Jagex is doing a really good job at correcting that balance, at least this year with this year's updates. A very good example is in terms of smithing and invention right now, because the other day I was trying to like make a lot of like hammers for the for smithing during the double XP weekend with the invention thing. But I realized that it's actually really difficult now to get base parts, because before, where you would just buy like 10,000 mithril daggers and just disable all of them, you can't really do that anymore because people don't make them as much because it actually takes a lot of time. And I'd realized that when I tried to make them myself because I couldn't buy them, where it took me like an hour to make like under, like I don't know how much it took, but it was like, I don't know, a full inventory took me half an hour or something like that.
They ruined it for Iron Man with that invention update, dude. Like, it's still a sore spot for me, but like,
it's really bad.
That is unintentional, Will. Like, that is not the way.
It's fair enough that it's unintentional for Iron Man, but for normal skillers, that is a great update.
Do you think?
I honestly do think so, because it really makes it high in demand, because people want 120 in 150, I guess, in invention. Which means that people actually have to buy these items, and skillers can make them for a lot of profit, to be honest. I do understand the Iron Man issue, though. I really do understand.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It has a positive knock-on effect where that is the current situation, but that is not a conscious update by Jagex. That is an aftermath or something, which like that is not meant to be in the game as it is. But I agree that it has its positives.
I can agree on that, but I do think it's a good update nonetheless, and it still counts for smithing in general, like the burial idea that you can just buy the +5 and just bury that for a ton of XP.
Burial's really good because it so people aren't alking the highest tier stuff for 1.6 mil. They're just destroying it. That's so good for the economy. There's so much less money coming in. But when it comes to like something that's actually intentional rather than unintentional, I guess, like you guys were saying, I think Anachronia did it right. Like Big Game Hunter, very, very good money if you do tier 2 dinos, sell the meat. Tier 3 dinos, if you get a mall piece, hello money, right? And the agility course, it has different levels on what you can do it, right? If you do it really efficiently, you get loads of money. If you do it semi like AFK, just click in and go in, you're not going to make much money, but you're still going to make some. And I feel like the same as Big Game Hunter, right? If you've got everything, bladed dive, double surge, you're going to make a ton of money from killing the dinosaurs.
I really like the idea about Big Game Hunter with the different tier dinosaurs. We actually have to like use the meat from a previous dinosaur to hunt the bigger one, because that as well creates a skilling method that can make people a lot of money, considering a lot of people don't really want to wait around with 2 dinosaurs to hunt the tier 3 one.
Yeah. And another thing, quickly, that we were saying, like, people are they're nerfing things too late. Tier 2 storehouse gave you meat from the tier 1 dinos to be sold. Yeah. They instantly took that away as soon as the feedback came, and they were saying, like, you know, you're going to kill the money making of this method. They instantly took that away. They didn't leave it there, and I am very happy they done that. They need to do that more with things like player-owned farms earlier before later.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Pull the band-aid off, like ASAP. Like, don't let it fester there.
I do really think we're on the right step. I want to dare say we're on the stage of a new era in RuneScape, to be honest, because we've been in a social skilling part for a very long time where max XP rates for little to no effort has been in focus for almost a decade now. But I do want to see that, well, I do want to say actually, with a claim even, that we're on our way to a new era now where it's more balanced, where things are more variated, and where people can actually make money with skilling.
Even though I've not tried it, but from like what I've seen on stream and stuff, the new like Fossil Island like offers a good balance, right? And that's what they were going for. And like a lot of people say that skilling isn't profitable, but it is profitable. Like there are so many profitable skills. Like rune crafting, I think does it really well. Like if it was up to me, we should be able to craft more runes. But like rune crafting is such a profitable skill, and it's such a great way to make money with like no requirements. Like if you can, in the from scratch challenge that me and Maikeru did, we could literally make like 8 mil an hour in an hour of starting fresh.
That's awesome.
And there are other skills which offer that, but like apart from the Bibles and stuff. So I think that skilling is in a good place. Like it could be improved with some skills. Like I don't know, maybe crafting could have some like good money makers.
Yeah,
you know, like maybe the buyable skills should have like an option to make money with slow XP rates. But it's there. It's there. If you want to make money with skilling, you can.
But that's the thing. People want skilling money making to just like be AFK and like as good as bossing. Whereas if you do rune crafting now with blood runes, with the Mauritania Lakes 2, Heroes Welcome, everything like that, you can get 10 mil an hour, I think it is, with the magical threads. Because magical threads are like 18 to 20 an hour, and they're like, what, like 150k each?
Those are a pain,
so just from the threads, you're making 3 mil, and you get 7 mil from your blood runes. And like that's so much money, but people don't do it because it's not AFK, and they don't cast that as skilling.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It is skilling. They need to get the...
Everyone wants a method that's AFK, best GP, best XP, like everything, but it's just not realistic.
That shouldn't happen. I don't know how this is at the lower levels, though, because I'm imagining this scenario where, let's say there is this incredible money-making method at level 70, I don't know, let's say mining, for example's sake, right? And if I'm level 50, I really do want to get level 70 the quickest possible in order to make money.
Exactly.
And I don't know how that balance is right now. Like, is there actually a fast skilling method at lower levels that also equals a money-making method for lower levels?
For rune crafting, there is. Like, I know Maikeru's done a few guides on like mud runes and like mist runes and stuff. Like, you don't need like high levels for that whatsoever. And like even at really low levels, you can still make like 5 or 6 mil an hour, I think.
PVMers buy the runes because combo runes like save you inventory spaces basically.
Oh, okay.
So you could put more food in your inventory and stuff.
Oh, that's cool then. Yeah. I didn't actually know that. I always thought that people just bought it for like Visvax or whatever. And Visvax also is a pretty good.
That's true. I don't know, dude. You're talking to me and Ken, who are Iron Men here.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like I don't know. Like I just feel like I kind of realizing this as I'm saying it, to be honest. But I really do feel like Jaggers have been focusing quite a lot on removing items from the game. And I do think that is a very good update, and I do think that improves skilling, and I think it improves money making. It gives people a choice at least between efficiency and wealth.
That's important, right? And they need to make that choice themselves, and there needs to be an opportunity cost for whatever they do.
Yeah,
and they're going in the right direction. There's still things which need to be fixed, but yeah, I'm quite happy with how skilling is. I do feel like it's it progresses too quickly. That's my one pet peeve at the moment. I feel like it needs to be more rewarding in terms of you still need to value the achievements, and like with like these like double XP weekends coming out of Jagex's ass like every other month. It's just like it's a step too far at the moment. People progress too quickly to 99s and then they get bored if they don't want to go for 120s.
And that's the kind of the issue I had as well with the fast scaling methods in terms of how 99 is valued right now. Because I think it's a general understanding that 120 is the new 99. And I don't honestly think that is a good thing. It's not really off topic, but I saw this Minecraft video very recently about someone talking about what Minecraft is doing right and why it's on the rise again. And he basically, one of the points he made was that Minecraft is doing very well because it's making a lot of content without changing the end game tier, more specifically diamonds in Minecraft, right? Because when you mine diamonds, that's like the high end, that's the best you can do. RuneScape doesn't do that. I don't think it's the right choice to remove 99 as the highest level. Because I think that removes a fundamental RuneScape thing that made RuneScape RuneScape. And moving that to 120 removes such a huge part of the entire skilling process, in my opinion.
They've done that with like Slayer, right? That's the only skill which has been where the cap has been pushed.
Apart from like pushed, but already with engineering, it was made.
Yeah, but it was made like that. It was made. It's different when it's made. Like I agree.
It just doesn't feel natural, in my opinion. It doesn't feel like RuneScape.
I just want it to be like challenging and rewarding. Like, you know, I don't mind when the XP rates are slow, as long as like the next thing I unlock is either going to be good money or it's going to be better XP or it's going to be rewarding in some way. I just don't like, you know, going from 0 to 99 in like a day and that's it. You never visit that skill again. Yeah,
there should be more like incentive of visiting skills. But I don't know. Like, are we playing RuneScape wrong? Because okay. This is not really that relevant to like the efficiency thing. I hope that's okay. But the idea of RuneScape, I think, the aim in RuneScape is to go in, do your quests, and finish off, basically. Like, your quests are supposed to be finished with the skills you train, and you train those skills in order to complete the quests. I feel like that's like the purpose of the game RuneScape. But everyone is just not doing that. They're kind of just sitting around, like, no-lifing a rock for like 24 hours a day.
That's what I love about RuneScape, though, is that you could do whatever you want, and there's so many different paths you can take, and there's no like right or wrong answer. Like, even if people don't like what you do, like, you can just do whatever you want. There's so many different things that you can do, and I just think, like, you know, make it longer lasting so people appreciate it.
I think like these days, gaming has become like more about efficiency and like making good use of your time while you're online and stuff like that, especially in MMOs.
That's true.
So like in terms of like the broad view, I guess, yeah, like completing all the quests and everything is one of the main goals, but for most people it's pushing to max and like, you know, I don't know. It's just like a different era of gaming than what it used to be these days.
Yeah.
Getting the most in the least time possible.
Yeah,
I think like that's. But do you think that's because Ken? Do you think that's because like we've grown up with it? Like we value our time differently now than we did when we were younger. Like we'd be spending hours in Castle Wars, getting no XP, having fun. Like
Castle Wars used to be.
It's
so
different
much fun.
now, right? It's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I definitely used to like love Castle Wars and stuff, but now I just won't touch it. But I mean, I guess like as time has gone on, I've just like only wanted to do the things that are like the best to progress my account while I'm online, not things for quote unquote fun. Although I do find it fun to like do things efficiently and find efficient methods and stuff like that. So I guess just my whole mentality around RuneScape has changed over the years.
I do think it's important to also kind of mention the Jagex motivation of making updates or the appeal to the players, because they are making their target audience is people who have used to play RuneScape in the past, right? They're trying to make people return to RuneScape 3
for RS3
rather than new. Yeah,
that is correct.
Yeah, the RuneScape 3 version. That's true. We're growing up, right? We're getting more lives. We're getting a job. We're getting some people getting kids, getting married, meeting people, social life, whatever. If we take the experience today and put it into that perspective of that average player that Jags are trying to hit, they're still going to use months in order to get a skill to 99.
Yeah. That's one thing that we like tend to forget is like we've been playing this game for so long, and like I mean I realize max is an achievement, but like I don't take it as seriously as you used to. You know, like if I see someone with a max cape, I'm like, I don't really think like, hey, that's really impressive. But I know like they did put a lot of work in for it. But yeah, it's just not the same anymore. Like in terms of achievements,
it's more of a sign that someone's been playing for a little while, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's a question for you, Ken. So because you've been playing for so long, you have 5.4, you have your Iron Man, you have your new hardcore. What type of sense of achievement matters to you the most? When you get a 99, do you feel like that's an achievement, or or is your achievement in like, you know, PVM, your titles and stuff? Is that your achievement now?
Yeah, I don't. In terms of achievements, I mean, this might sound bad, but like I don't really like skilling is just not an achievement for me anymore. Just because I guess I've just done it all, and like, I mean, I can appreciate other people's achievements, but in terms of like, if I get a 99, I don't really care. Like, I don't know. It's just some time that I spent on the game training a skill, and it's just a step towards something like PVMing or whatever.
It's to get to somewhere. It's all relative, right? Because like, but if I was someone new, right? This is an issue which I'm worried is not going to be. I want it to be rewarding to get a level, right? We can't feel that because we've done it before, right? We've done it many times before with our Iron Man mains, etc. Like, I wonder if the new player experience is like, oh, I'm actually quite proud of getting this level, and you know, this feels good, as opposed to like this just is like, oh, let's get it out the way so we can move on to the next thing.
Yeah, it's hard to see without bias because we've been playing for so long.
Exactly that. We've got our own perceptions of everything, which changes it. It'll be quite interesting to get like a few new people on this show at some point and like kind of interview them and see how they feel.
We should have a lion for the next one. He would be very for that topic.
Just leading on to that, that's part of the elitism that I hate. When someone in clan chat or something is like, yes, I got my first Queen Black Dragon kill, quick chats, 1 kill. And they're like, yeah. And you're like, oh, congrats, dude. And then one dude's there like, I quick chat my 1,000 Queen Black Dragon. You're like, for God's sake, dude, let this guy be happy for his kill, you know? Like, there's always that one guy that tries and ruins it or flexes his,
it's all relative.
EP, right?
Exactly.
I had this hardcore Iron Man in my clan who does it all the time. Like, it's kind of funny, to be honest, because we had double XP weekend now, right? Now, a lot of people are leveling up to skills or whatever. And obviously, I'm in a skiller clan chat, so it's a bit bigger deal for us when some people get a 120 or a 99. But we have this, like, max hardcore Iron Man who keeps quick chatting his skills every time someone levels up. And I'm like,
name and shame, dude. Name and shame.
I'm not gonna name and shame. I'm not doing that on this guy. He's gonna PM me because he PMs me a lot. Like, he's one of the. Actually, I take everything back. He is elitist, right? Because I'm asking questions in my clan chat now and then. We're like, so what should I do for crafting or whatever? And some people answer something like that. And instead of being helpful, he tells me what he did for the skill. You know, it's nothing necessarily good. Well, it might be good like 5 years ago. But now he's like, yeah, I did this, and this entire like paragraph.
Back about, in my day, we didn't have Ivy. We power chopped willows at Barbarian Assault.
You should do that. That worked for me. Like, oh, Jesus.
I really hope he hears this podcast.
I don't think he does, which is why I'm allowed to say that.
Hardcore Iron Man out there, you know who you are. This shade is being thrown at you directly. Please don't avoid it and stop being a dick.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Let me quick chat my Solot KC to him.
It's kind of the same thing with people with 1 KC though, in terms of boss pets and whatever.
Oh,
You're running around with those. I'm like, you're not doing that because you like the pet. You do it.
Or 0 KC,
don't you?
With the darts.
But that's the thing. I like. If I saw someone with a 1 KC pet, I'd just be like, cool. They're like,
yeah.
If I saw someone with a 5k KC pet, I'd be like, damn, that guy's got hard.
Different perspectives. That's actually kind of funny. Hey, do you guys remember the prestige system that was suggested some years back?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh god. Why do you say oh god?
I don't know. I mean, the prestige system has been completely replaced with 120s and 200 mils, right? Like, I mean,
what? Not really.
As in, like, people. What is it? After 99, you could reset to
after
0
200.
and go again.
It was 200.
After 200.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was your guys' opinion? What is that? Sound horrible? I honestly thought that was so an amazing idea, and I cannot understand how that failed. Someone explain. Troll.
If
Go.
microtransactions weren't a thing, I'd be for it, dude. But like, I just don't like the idea of encouraging people to spend money like on ranks and stuff. I know it happens, but I just personally like stay away from that.
I think the high scores make it like a interesting update. Because like a lot of people are attached to the high scores and like their rank, and if Prestige came out, yeah, things would be kind of crazy. Like people could definitely like push to like billions of experience, and you know, people could be like, oh, I'm a one-trick agility guy and I have a billion agility experience. Shout out to Jebram. But you know, like I don't know. I didn't personally want it. I think there was a vote, right?
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. That was like one of the
I think
biggest
I
ones.
voted no because like I don't know how long ago was that. I was pretty high XP and I was like pretty high ranked and I was like, oh, I don't want this to devalue my rank. Like I don't want to have to prestige and like, you know, keep
Just
skilling.
make us, you
It's
know?
like, oh my god.
I feel like the reason why new skills are so enjoyable is because you can't MTX them. You can't do anything.
Exactly.
Right? They're locked out.
Yeah.
There's that race, and everyone who's earned 5.4, whether it be 10 years ago, well, it wouldn't be 10 years ago, but whether it be a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, or literally yesterday, they're all going to be on the same playing field when a new skill comes out.
Yeah.
And that's the fun of the race of a new skill. If there was
That's
no
true.
race of a new skill, how boring would that new skill be, dude?
Honestly, though, I really just like the idea of prestige because it would make RuneScape skilling something that would last forever, because right now it goes to 200 mil, and if you're not on the first page high score, well, tough,
It was
I
think
guess
the
it's
issue-
understandable, but it's like you want an end to a game. Like
I
that
think
end,
so too,
200
yeah.
mil all takes so long, but you
Yeah.
need an end, right?
The
If
thing
it
is, though,
doesn't
that was the idea of prestige as well, that you would cap at 200 mil, but then you could have the choice to prestige it, which would basically mean that there is still an end game per se, but you can choose to do it all again on the same account rather than just make a new account. Your rank on the normal high score wouldn't be changing, but you would be ranked in a new high score for the prestige.
I think, Will, the idea of it is like you like the idea of competition and
Yes, that's very
how
true.
the community interacts with it, right? And like that's why Iron Man was so good because one, no MTX, the other
Yes.
thing, everyone starts fresh, no one has an advantage, etc. Things like that would do well in RS3. Like now, like it doesn't have to be Iron Man. I know the last time someone mentioned King of the Skill, or like the first person to get a boss kill, or a season or something like that. It can be done in different ways, I think.
Wait, so would you support a prestige system for Iron Man?
Oh, actually, I don't mind, but
Alright, interesting.
it's different because like if it's a prestige system for Iron Man and it's completely separate because there's no MTX, I would be less opposed to it. But if I was like anywhere near the top ranks of Iron Man, I would be very, very against it for like selfish issues.
Yeah,
I
that's fair enough.
completely
Okay.
understand the point of view.
I've got a question, right?
Yeah.
Half of Excel, they have seasonals, and they have hardcore, like these specific hardcore seasonals that have extra mutators and make things harder. And they only go on for a couple of months or something. You make a new account, you have this whole high score and this whole server dedicated just to those accounts.
Yes.
And you all race one another, right? And you all go for the first kill of this boss or first person to reach this level, etc. If they made that for RuneScape 3 and they made a
Amazing.
hardcore Iron Man race
I would
for like
love
a
that.
couple of months, that'd be so fun, dude.
It's so
right?
good.
Because
That
it'd
would
be
be
like
automatic streaming content.
yeah, it'd be like ITrolledU got the first Grador kill in like day 2 or something crazy, right? And everyone would be like, "Oh my god!" And then they come like interact and ask questions. Like it'd be so good.
I think
And it'd bring back competition. That's
my
what we.
my favorite thing about that would be like it would reinvigorate like lower end skilling, like because right now the
Exactly.
lower end skills don't really have a meta. Like you have to kind of make up your way like to get up to the higher skills because everyone's max these days. All the people that are really efficient. So like when I made my new hardcore Iron Man, I kind of just had to like go off of things that I knew and like off of things that people told me. But like there's no like set way to train up the skills. But I think if something like that came out, it could be really interesting.
There
for
would
the early
be
game.
emphasis on it, right? Because at the moment, like you're training, it's recommended to train combat to 40 at Trolls in Berthorpe. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that sort of thing would put emphasis on the early game, and not only would that help like the competition grow because the early game would be more interesting. It'll help new players actually enjoy the game more because we can give feedback on the early, because no one plays the early game anymore. Like,
Yeah.
we want to skip the early game as quickly as possible and move on to the end game if we make a new account. This way, like, you have to explore the early game.
And it's the competitive side that is lost now. So instead of a
Yeah,
prestige
exactly.
system, something like that for the competitive side would be perfect. And the thing is, everyone who does it the first month can then look back, and there could be a second month they release like that with a month break in between. Everyone's prepping their early game now. They all know the new meta.
Yeah.
And everyone races again, and it'll be really cool to see the changes in people's strategies and stuff.
Jagex asked like how they can support streamers and content creators. This is how they can support them. Like, literally just make content where we can compete against each other, and like that would help us grow so much. And then not only us, we help the game grow so much as well. It's an obvious marketing strategy. I just don't know why they haven't like allocated resources into it. It doesn't make sense to me.
I think it'd be kind of cool to give like a reward for it as well. Like if you rank 1 in overall, maybe you get a fancy cape in the main game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Just something to show off. Maybe like a prestige cape. Like if you rank 2, maybe get this extra star on it or something like that. I don't really know. Like
or like an IRL cash prize, like they do, like
like Deadman mode.
For every old school RuneScape release, right? There's a competition for like whoever gets top 3 fastest kills in a week or something.
Yeah,
that'd be
such an awesome idea, dude.
I have no idea why they don't do that for RuneScape. It's kind of annoying that they don't do any cash rewards in RuneScape 3.
Yeah, it could even be something that's technically not cash rewards and more lossless. If something like lifetime membership, like what Wook's got for doing the Infernal.
Yeah, and like Wooks has won so many like gaming chairs. His like house is full of them. In every room, he's got a gaming chair.
I want a house store for Wooks. That'd be funny.
Like the amount of like advertising they'd get just from doing that would like outweigh like the £1,000 cash prize like 100-fold. Like it's kind of strange. Like I just feel like the marketing theme needs to be a bit more adventurous and stuff like that, because like this game is not dead. Like people think that there's lots to offer and it can go on for longer, but there needs to be like some innovation happening as opposed to just like sticking with the status quo. Like Deadman Mode was good. Sorry, not Deadman Mode. Darkscape was good, but it had its flaws. It could be improved. Like, things like that show that there is demand for it, and this game has the capacity to do that. I just wish they'd think of it or pursue it.
I just don't see how hard it could be to maybe open up 1 or 2 more servers, or even take a couple of the servers away from like Mainscape and put it into like a new, and put it into a new game mode or format, and just bring back some competition and have a good time. Like you could literally just copy and paste the game, but everyone has to start over again, right? So like, it doesn't cost too much resources, I doubt. So,
or other challenges, like on Twitch, like me and Mike did a challenge. RS Guy and Cash do like a weekly challenge. Like they're just trying to spice it up for themselves. And I imagine if those challenges were endorsed by Jagex and every single person could enter, it would just be such like a fun time. Like the community would be so happy. Yeah, I don't know.
They want to bring people back as well, right?
Exactly.
So if they want to bring people back, bring them back in a stylish way, have some competition. I know we've gone really off topic with the elitism stuff, but like this would be so cool.
I agree entirely.
I guess it links into the efficiency stuff anyway. Like
efficiency versus fun, right? Like this is the fun side of things. Like this is some people play for like recognition, some people play to be the. I know like if we touch on like elitism again, like I think there's a thin line. Like for example, when I watch Ken stream, people may think he's elitist. I don't know if people think he really is Ken. But like Ken, when I see Ken stream, I just see Ken wanting to be like the best version of himself in game. And he sets high standards for himself, and like things like that, like kind of aspires others to be like that. And like if you like put them on an even playing field and stuff like that, people will be motivated to kind of like join in and see how they do against him. And so it will be so much fun, dude.
Cash just got Jack of all blades.
Hey.
Freaking noob.
Whoa.
Will's just jealous because he can't get it.
Hey, stop it. All right. I think it's time to end this week's podcast, fellas. It's been an hour. I think this has been a quite efficient chat, to be honest. We actually got to a few interesting points.
Efficient.
Oh, I love it.
Very
Good
efficient.
job, my friend.
I was told on purpose. Right. Ken, thanks a lot for joining.
Anything else you want to say, Ken?
Any plugs?
Yeah.
I'm an Iron Man.
Whoa. No, you're hardcore.
I'm a hardcore
So
Iron Man.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Yeah, Death Snail 22, Ken's hardcore Iron Man.
42.
He's going. Is
42.
it 22?
42.
42. Dude, my bad. Ken's Death Snail 42. By the way, guys, ITrolledU on Twitch. He is doing some pretty impressive stuff on his hardcore Iron Man, pushing the limits, and yeah, just tune in because he could die any second, and that's pretty exciting.
And then we all
I like that
smile.
Rav is the one plugging him instead of just letting him finish his own plug, but that's fine.
That's all I had to say is I'm an Iron Man. You know?
Perfect. Well, a lot of fun. We'll see you guys in the next podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.